without further ado, let's give it up to Ira Motorina.
Yay, thank you so much. Once again, I'm so excited to be here today. My name is Ira. I'm of content and brand communications, and now I'm also working as a fractional AI content advisor. So today I'll talk a little bit about AI as a part of real content workflows and not as a magic button. Let's start. And a little bit about my experience. So I have around 10 years of experience in tech, marketing, and localization. And I work with the product teams, content teams, and the communication system. And I also had the pleasure, the pleasure is mine, of working with Anna at AliExpress. And I'm really proud of that experience. For now, my focus not only writing, it is also process design and making teams work faster without losing quality. So let me check my presentation. Yep. So one of the AI projects I worked on was the launch of an AI travel assistant. I supported the team with communication in Russian and English, and this included research, product messaging, prompts, microcopy, landing pages, and so on. And for me, this project showed that AI, content, product, and business goals must work together. And so another project. It's like my own project. I also launched my own AI project. It's called Oh My Prompt. It's like Oh My Prompt. It started as a course and as an email digest about AI, but in human language. So I launched from zero, no big audience, no ad spend, no external investment. And for me, it is my own AI lab. So I test workflows there and see what really helps people use AI and work and in daily life. So before we talk, about AI workflows, let's talk about the problem. AI is creating more content than ever before, like images, videos, ads, emails, articles, microcopy, and of course social post. And the promise is very big and very attractive, but without context, rules, and review, we often get AI slop, like this one. Content that looks finished but feels generic, empty, and so strange. And here we are. The scale is already huge. Like 21% of YouTube videos, 72% of articles, like SEO articles, and other stuff, and 73% of emails now are generated by AI, and even scientific papers. So the scale is already huge. Exact numbers may change from study to study, but the direction is super, super clear. AI generated content is becoming normal. And for us as content specialists, it's a big problem. And we cannot say simply, oh, just don't use AI. It's okay. We will write it manually. That's not realistic 100%. The better question is, how do we use AI and still keep the quality? And um, for content professionals, this AI era creates a new challenge. Anyone can generate more text now than ever. And our job is becoming different. We need to make sure the content is useful, consistent, clear, human, and connected to the brand. For us, product text, localization, microcopy are not just decoration. It's affect trust, conversion, and user experience, and we understand it. So I think our role as content creators, as content managers, as content designers, our role is changing. Uh, we should not only write prompts like, oh, hello, ChatGPT, oh, hello, DeepSeek, can you write an article for me, please? We need to own the whole content process from the first idea to the final version, like from AI draft to human in the loop or human in review, from brand tone of voice to business goals. So, how can we do this? Before AI, content designers spent a lot of time producing and reviewing content manually, right? Right? So like microcopy, localization, strings, email, push notifications, onboarding, empty states, and so on, and so on, and so on. So this work is still important. I have to say that, but now the role is shifting completely. So with AI, content designers are no longer just writing, every piece of content from scratch. They're designing the system around content, prompts, templates, tone of voice rules, like review criteria, localization workflows, and quality check. So our job is changing. And today we're going to unpack 5 AI workflows for content design for content designers. I have to say that these 5 blocks, they are not separate tricks. They're more like building blocks. You can use one workflow alone or connect them into a bigger system. And the goal is to speed up the work, keep quality under the control, keep the brand voice consistent, and of course, connect our AI work to a real business goal. And so this is the main idea of the talk. One good prompt can help once. A good workflow can help the whole team, like not only content designers team, but product team, design team. It can help like many times. It makes the process faster and the output more consistent. It also helps the brand stay human. Even then, AI is a part of the work. And here we are. The first step is not prompting. It's not obvious, but the first step is creating a database. It can be like Notion, Confluence, Google Drive, or any other tool your team already uses. So the tool is not the main point. The main point is that your knowledge is easy to update, search, and connect to other AI tools. For example, as you can see, there is a screenshot. So it's my own database, and for my own database, I keep the materials that AI and I may need during our work. So it's like our work already. For example, there are content guidelines, tone of voice rules, prompts that I use, project notes, launch plans, examples, etc., etc., etc. This becomes one source of truth for me and for AI tool that I use. And the main important point for me here that AI without context usually guessing. I hope that you already know it. So it's guessing, and it uses generic patterns from the internet. That is how we get generic AI content. But when AI has access to your real materials, like your guidelines, your localization rules, etc., so we it can follow your rules, use your examples, and understand your product better. So sometimes it still needs review, like human review, but the first draft becomes much better and less like AI slop. So the main value here also as well, it's reusability. Your knowledge does not live inside one random chat, it lives in a system. And for example, if tomorrow you switch tools, or for example, your company buys another AI platform, you can connect the same database and reuse the same materials. For example, I'd like to share a part of my AI workflow. So as you can see, there is a screen from my ChatGPT. So how it works, I store documents in one place. For me, it's Notion, but any other tool, any other platform is good as well. So after that, I connect AI to the database via connectors or via MPC. Ask AI to use specific pages and update the database when rules changes or when it's needed. So it's super simple. But there is a step number two, and step number two is training your AI. I don't mean training a model from scratch, like LLM models or something like that. I mean teaching the AI with expert sources before you ask it to create something important. For example, if you need SEO articles or any other, articles, you don't have to invent the rules yourself every time. Like, hello, write me an article. You should follow these rules and stuff like that. So start from expert sources. And you can see there are two screenshots. One is the prompt based on the expert sources. Uh, I, I can say that it should be from Yoast blog. It's a blog from Yoast company. They are huge SEO experts. So using this prompt, I started to gain like 100% of 100% of SEO and visibility on WordPress, because it's my own case. I publish articles via WordPress, and um, if you work with SEO tools or any kind of SEO IO tools, you know that, for example, readability can be painful. Something is always wrong, like sentences are too long, paragraphs are too dense, text become robotic, and it's almost impossible to gain 100%. But with a good prompt, it helps the draft follow the rules from the start, and you have it. So, step number 3 is connectors. At this point, you already have a database and reusable prompts, and connectors help AI work with the platform where your content and project materials already live. Like for me, it's Notion, but for you, it could be like Google Drive, Jira, or any other tool your team uses. So without connectors, you copy everything by hand, like rules, example, prompts, and with connectors, the workflow becomes smoother. AI can use the connected sources directly. It can read the brief, use the saved prompts, and create a draft based on the right context. For me, I can say that this is already a very, very simple AI agent, not a huge complex system, like maybe Alibaba uses or any other big tech companies in China, but just a workflow that removes repetitive steps for you as a professional. Sometimes that's enough. So it can read context, create draft, update a status, and tell you what's missing. For example, I usually use Google connectors, Notion connectors, and as you can see, Figma connectors as well, Airtables, and other stuff like that, because I'm in content design team, and I'm into content design, so it's my tools. But for you, it could be anything. So I see, has anyone explored Figma new agentic AI? It's a good question. I hope we will return to it later because I try to use it a bit. Maybe we'll discuss it. Yeah, thank you, thank you. So um, let's go. So how it works? It's a quite simple example from my experience. So imagine I'm going to write a SEO article. I open ChatGPT, connect the source I need, and write the task. So AI can use the SEO prompt, like my SEO prompt, based on expert materials, tone of voice rules, article structure, project notes, previous example. And in a more advanced setup, it can also update a table, like a table of the content, and tell me what's missing, like images, for example. I need to add a screenshot, expert comments, links, etc., etc. So this is how it works. And step number 4, here we go. It's a step for agents, like number 4. So connectors help AI access tools and data. Agents help AI perform a sequence of actions. For example, not only write an article, but also prepare it for publishing, like add tags, prepare SEO fields, create a request of images or find images. If you have a bank like of images, you can find it, save results, etc., etc. So let's take a simple liner agent. It takes a topic from my database and check if the articles already exist, like SEO articles, for example. If not, it uses a saved prompt and writes the draft. When it saves the draft, add text, prepare SEO fields, and send it to WordPress, like I mentioned before. Technically, it could be published already. So, like in one click or automatically. But I prefer to keep human review before publishing, and a bit of, internet memes here. Step 5 is human in the loop. So, as you know already, AI can draft, tag, prepare SEO fields, create images, and move tags between tools, but it cannot fully own the final decision. This is like for us humans, a person still needs to decide, should we publish this or not? Is this true? Is this safe for the brand? Does this support the business goals, etc.? So I think that facts, context, tone of voice, originality, user value, business goal, brand or legal risks, that's for human. Human review is not just a grammar check, it is much, much bigger. A human checks facts, context, risks, etc. And, speed that AI creates. It make mistakes easier to create. So the workflow should not remove review, should not remove human in the loop. It should make review easier and faster. And how we can do it, or how we did it, it's a tiny case that I would like to share with you. It's a real example from SEO production. As you know, I worked at Tutu. It's a big travel tech, like um, 30 million MAU. We had like they they still have it, but when I worked, uh, we had like 5,000 plus travel articles in our blog, and we had a huge problem. So it's almost 4,000 of them had to be updated every year, like maybe multiple times, because travel content gets outdated very fast, like new visa rules, currencies, city guides, seasonal details, prices, local restrictions, etc. And before AI, this work was almost impossible to scale. Like the team of two could manually update around like 100 or 200 articles per year, and each article could take 2 or 3 days of work. Like, so our TTM was like bad. And we changed the workflow. We added AI in the middle. Instead of asking editors to write everything from scratch, we built an AI assisted pipeline. The content database became the source of truth, and AI generated drafts and updates. So automation connected the process similar to tools like N8N, but it was hosted on our servers. But human review stayed mandatory before publication. So editors checked facts, context, risks, and AI helped with scale, but humans still own the final decision. As the result, we updated all priority articles like in 1 or 2 months, and it was like 2,000 or 3,000. Yeah, I think so. And the most important part of us, some pages started appearing in Google AI summarizes, and visibility in top searches results grew up by like 13%. And for us, it was like huge result. And, you know, I have another case. It's my personal case. And when I started to build a blog about AI, I didn't want to publish yet another stream of AI updates. Look what's going on with, new version of Manus AI or ChatGPT AI, the kind that often look like ChatGPT wrote them without adult supervision. It's like, no, new features, let's try it. So I tried to create a blog as an organic acquisition channel, like for both people and the search agents, with clear headlines, short definitions, quick answers block, example, tools lists, internal links, tail metadata, all this stuff. And for me, as a result, like I was only one human working on this blog for a few months, I think. So the result, the blog started getting like 3,000, 5,000 monthly views, like with no ad budget at all. And the most important part for me, it also brings like 20, 30 free leads every week. And those leads becoming paying users of my AI course. For me, it's a huge result. So as you can see, for example, on the screenshot, there are Alice Yandex dot ru. It's kind of DeepSeek in Russia, in Belarus, etc. It's ChatGPT, When AI. Maybe you're familiar with that. And any stuff like that. Also Microsoft AI and some kind of AI, but I prefer not to mention it here because it's super rare. And what I would like to add here, there is a few steps. How can you own the AI content process? You don't need to start with the complex AI transformation. Like start with the 5 basic steps: database, train AI on expert sources, connect your tools, build simple agents, keep a human in the loop. And for the first step, is the most important one. It's keeping human in the loop. AI can generate, compare, summarize, automate, etc. But people still own decisions, context, responsibility, and final quality. And what I would like to share as well, um, before AI, a big part of our content role was writing, reviewing, localizing, and updating content manually. And this work is still important, I'd like to say. But now content designers also need to design the system around the content, the database, the prompt, templates, review criteria, and workflows that connect AI with real product processes. This is where our value shifts now. So we own context. Users, logic, goals, risks, we own systems, how content is generated, checked, reused, scaled, etc. We own quality, text, tone of voice, UX, originality, trust, etc. And the most importantly, we own human judgment. The final decision about what is good enough to ship, that's on us. And here's the main shift. Text itself is no longer the main value. AI can generate text very fast, but the value is in context. So does the system understand the product, the user, the brand, and the goal as we are? I don't think so yet. So this is why content professionals need to own the whole process, not just the final text. And I would like to end here and thank you so much for listening. And if you want to stay in touch, scan the QR code or connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd be happy to hear like about your AI workflows, your team challenges, or maybe your experiments. And now I'll be happy to answer your questions. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you so much, Irina. I appreciate it. Oh my God. Wow, that's huge. When I saw the blog, I was like, okay, that's what we need to talk about. That's what we need to talk about. That's huge. Okay, there are two questions currently. Folks, for those who are still formulating your questions, please feel free to drop it in the chat. For now, we have two questions. One from Nashin, who's asking, have you explored Figma's new agentic AI?
Yeah, yeah, I had the chance to explore it like a little bit.
Mhm.
And I would like to say that it's still raw, in my opinion, because if we're talking about like agentic AI, design AI tool, uh, sometimes it gets, uh, you know, uh, it gets very raw. Prototypes and the scaling it had the scaling problem. So if you type in, for example, let's create AI app using our design system and add some kind of feature here, some kind of feature there, it can use your design system, but it has a scaling problem like angles,
Mm.
mobile prototypes are still looking
Yeah.
like a web prototype. So maybe in the future it's be better. But now it's like a like Claude code design.
Mm.
It's good design logic, but it will be designed like in a Claude style. So
Yes.
yeah. But
Yeah,
if you
I think.
have other opinions you
Mhm.
would like to share with us, so please share it. I'll be happy to discuss it. Yeah.
Yeah, Nashin, would you like to jump in?
Yeah. Hi. Hi,
Hi.
Ira.
Hi.
So right now we are in the process of designing a MCP thing for
Mm-hmm.
our team. There are only two writers on board
Mm.
and an army of product designers.
Oh
So
no.
what we are trying to do is we have built a content design system. And right now, what I and my colleague, we both are doing is we have set the brand voice in Claude along
Mm-hmm.
with some certain tools, and I upload the wireframe screenshots over there, whatever wireframes we have made, and I ask Claude to do the analysis.
Mm.
Although it is not 100% correct, it gives its own version as well. Human intervention is required everywhere, but still it gives some relatable reasoning as well, like why this should be done and this should not be done. So the team that is building an automations process for us in the design team. So the we are trying to connect that thing with the Figma agentic AI so that I do not have to copy paste the reasoning from Claude and bring it to the Figma design file, because that is becoming too much of work for me because we are only limited hands on tech. So that is why I asked, like, has anyone explored the Figma agentic AI? Because we're planning to bring that into our system.
Mm. So basically, you guys are going to start building everything there, right? And you want to have your content system integrated with your design system.
Automate, we are trying to automate it because
Yeah.
we have, since we are a bank, we have 250 plus products and
Oh,
we
okay.
cannot be everywhere. And we have different channels of communication as well that ranges from
Mm.
the product to the emails to the WhatsApp communications to SMS as well, because we have to
Mm.
send out so much of chunks of data every time.
I see.
So we cannot
That
be
sounds
everywhere. So
huge.
we have created guidelines. So what the brand voice should be, what the tone should be
Mm.
for a particular brand. So you shouldn't deviate from that, because because we are in India, the native language is not English.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
have to
You
write
have
it down
like
like,
5, 10, hundreds of languages. Am I right? Like this is the
yeah,
main
more than
problem.
that. Like it's
Oh
very
wow.
difficult to find. So that is
Oh
why
wow.
we are trying to automate the process, and we have multiple stakeholders as well in bit, because the business has other goals, then the marketing team has another goal. So we are trying to merge their guidelines into our guidelines
Mm.
as well, and find a
Mm.
middle way. So it's a huge, humongous task for us.
Wow.
It's huge.
So that's the reason I ask whether, like, if anyone has used the Figma agentic AI and how is it functioning. So like I got to know from you that it is still in the raw phase, but in future it might evolve.
Mm.
Yeah. Ira, do you have any comments on this? What is a good approach to this? Integrate all the content guidelines into the big system under design.
You know, regarding this case, I think the main problem, yeah, maybe scalability, because if you're working with one language, like usually I work with the 2 or 3 languages, it's not that huge, you know. So we create like one guideline in English, one guideline, for example, in Spanish, and another guideline in Russian, and just switch it when we received a push from automation that we have to use this to answer that. But with the 500 languages, actually I have no idea how to scale it, in the right way, because maybe it's like it's a task with a plus 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 plus, because maybe it's a question of database size, or maybe it's a question of bright tiny automations. So, and you have, as you mentioned, also a lot of you know um, platforms that used to, like WhatsApp, etc., etc. So maybe it should be scaled this way. So this is the main. Uh, database like with the, I don't know, like the main language. And if it's not asked in the main language, it should be done in others. So the first step is to detect, and other step is to pass through the right automation flow. So maybe this, but I need more details, and I think that those details could be under NDA. So,
Yeah, correct. Comes under non-NDA. And
yeah, it's basic.
yeah, it's also like we have English as the language, but we have
Mm.
regional languages that we have to cater to.
Mhm.
So we're trying to figure out things like in multiple channels, like how to cater to it. Because as a bank, we are available everywhere from
Mhm.
one state to another. And so the number of states we have, then there is a language barrier. If you go down by layer, if you dig down, if you go to, we have the division of like metro, tier one city, tier two city, tier three cities. Then if you dig down, and then the language level also decreases as we go down.
Yeah.
So to keep that momentum alive, and to keep the research thing also in mind, like even if someone is residing in metro city, there are people coming from tier three and tier two cities to work in metro cities and using the
Mhm.
banking services as well. So we have to keep the language to write it like an eighth grade person. It should not be over the top as well, and it should not should not should be like below that. So we have to maintain that balance as well. So there are multiple barriers that we are tackling at the moment,
Oh
and
my God. Wow.
trying to automate it with the AI process. We are trying our
Wow.
best, but again, I I state, like we all know that whatever number of AI you use, human intervention is required everywhere. And as you rightly said, our roles are shifting from writing to strategizing. That
Mm-hmm.
is
Yeah.
the that is the thing that has happened with me on a personal level.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah,
so
thank you so much for sharing. And I would love to hear more about this project. If you ever manage to get it under your NDA, I would love to hear how you guys tackling this problem, because I think it's
yeah,
something that many of us have to struggle with: how to scale, how to make
Yeah.
sure that content is consistent in different languages. So yes,
Yeah.
maybe for the next sharing, I would love to hear from you.
yeah,
Okay, we have next question actually from me, and I think it kind of ties nicely with what we just discussed. Okay, Ilya, we'll go to you after that, okay? For someone who just starts a blog, or someone who just starts their, AI powered content database, right? Where would you recommend to start? Say, I want to have a database to serve as a backbone of all the content I create for my personal projects, like my blog, my articles, my LinkedIn. Where do I start? Because I saw your database is very elaborate, and you have like different sections and different
Yeah.
chapters there. So where do I start? I guess my question is, where do I start with something like that?
Oh wow. It's nice questions. So a lot of questions, and all they are nice. So I'd like to maybe I would like to start with metrics and key phrases, like
Mm-hmm.
to start a deep research and to find all these clouds, like the core clouds of words or phrases that's
Mm-hmm.
very close to your point of interest. Like, for
Mm-hmm.
example, I'm Anna. I would like to share my opinion, or I would like to gain more views and to share my opinion about localization, internalization, and other stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
I gonna to deep research what's going on using, for example, database from Google, like and the most important part, it's geo. So your location is matter as well. So for example, if you'd like to, to push yourself into that, you have to choose the right location. For example, for me, it's Russia plus the CIS countries like Uzbekistan, Belarus, etc., etc. So I collected all the key phrases related to these countries. But for example, if I would like to start business in America, for example, I'm gonna to analyze all the search intents from the US. So this is the difference. And the step number two is to find the core search intent and to find the other intents like low key intents. For example, for core, it could be like localization China, localization Asia, localization Japan, localization Korea, something like that. That will be your first step to cover. For the low key search intent, that could be how to localize mobile app from Japanese language to English. Keeping all the brand style guides, etc., etc. So it will develop another angle of view. So you collect it, like you cluster it, like clusterization is our nice method to understand how to work, and you cover all these topics, I hope automatically, because it's impossible to cover it all manually now. So automatically you create articles, you write it, you add like cross links, images, etc. You keep it in your database and you publish when it's needed. So maybe it's the first like 3 steps, but of course you need the right prompt. But Yoast blog, it's expert resources. You know what I mean. Try it and you will be surprised. It's super good. So yeah, and after that, the seeding, it's part number 2, because you need to gain more weight on SEO and to seed your blog link like everywhere, like maybe it's a Chinese blog platform. Sorry. Sorry, it's my Russian accent. Yes. So you have to spread the word about you, like on Chinese platforms, on LinkedIn, for example, Twitter, or where your like power audience, or for example, not power but potential audience may live. So yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much. Oh my God, that's so comprehensive. That gives me a lot of ideas. Okay. Okay. I need to see how I can plug it into Chinese realities. Thank you so much. Ilya, I know you had a question. Please jump in and ask it.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Do you hear me well? Just
Yes.
confirming.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically it's not even a question, but to put it shortly, I'm building now my own content pipeline. If you're interested, I could share, but I don't know if that's the situation to share.
Go ahead. Why not? Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
I mean, if you're interested. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to warn you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe will take around 3 to 4 minutes. I'll try to be concise. But I need to start with a bit prehistory. So basically, I started a company a year ago with my colleague, and we talked a lot about how we're gonna build this content, and like months of discussions. Not because we were arguing, we clearly couldn't figure out, and eventually this finally started coming to place. But even though we had the plan, one feeling that I couldn't shake off was that I didn't know how to do it the way that I'm not selling my soul to algorithms and trying to optimize it so perfectly. So point one I want to share is I'm sharing a link right now. Actually, something clicked in my head after watching this specific video in the chat, and basically talks about what is the narrative and why Anthropic is paying 300,000 USD per year for content writers, and why Anderson Horowitz, you know, this VC, so they call themselves that they are a media company that monetizes through being a VC, which I find really poetic in a way. So basically the video, in short, the video explains what is a narrative and what is like pushing this narrative and building this narrative. So it's not just creating content. And this kind of clicked in my head because now for our thing that we are doing with my colleague, I realized that we don't just need to write content, we need to push our own narrative. And okay, that was part one. Part two is actually this shaped my vision of the workflow of the pipeline, of the content pipeline. I will not go into details because they're very technical, but basically two things. So first, I'm actually building this agentic workflow right now this week and tediously debugging it using Hermes. Oh, sorry, Hermes. Hermes. I don't know how to pronounce it. And Hermes, yeah, I guess so. And the key thing that allows this to happen is facial platform, or the foreign name is Lark by ByteDance. And the reason we're using it is because it's literally all in one platform. Like absolutely anything you can imagine for office work, you can store there. All kinds of files, communication, meeting transcripts. You can plug in emails. Everything can be stored in one place, including content and content calendar, because everything can be done through API, and every single tiny step has an unique ID. And my head is exploding when I was digging in and still digging into that, but it's just phenomenal. So it's only 8 people now, but basically my point was here. If anyone is interested, feel free to add me, and I will be happy in the future, maybe in a couple of weeks, to share like our findings and some tips. Maybe someone could find them useful. I'm not sure, but I think it would be interested, at least to me.
Okay, well,
especially those who are in China and using facial.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. I never thought about facial as a system to run your databases and kind of being like one-stop solution. I should check it out. Thank you.
Yeah, it's incredible because it has something called base, which I don't even know how to explain. It's something between an Excel sheet and a database, but cooler. It's really hard to explain. You got to dig it and find out.
Okay. Yeah, I trust you. I trust you. I trust you that you're not sponsored by ByteDance.
No,
but maybe.
Nick, yes, sorry, I'm answering to Nick how to connect. You have my WeChat actually, Nick, so you can ask me and I will be happy to share my findings.
I think we can go to one last question. Do we have one last question?
Yeah.
Okay, Nick.
It seems like we have it.
Nick, okay, please jump in. One last question.
Hi, thank you very much for. I'm sorry, I'm dialing in from the train station, so apologies for the background noise. Ningbo back, commuting back from to Shanghai from Ningbo. What is your understanding, your experience using DingTalk and what I've recently discovered, which is a bit like what Ilya just mentioned on Facebook, but DingTalk is the Alibaba tool. And what I recently found is that DingTalk actually, although it's not being used so commonly, it's probably in the content design community, very much used in B2B settings, as we do at university. And so, what's your experience? What is your experience for content design from Chinese, Mandarin Chinese, into foreign languages, finding useful templates, or even potentially writing your own sort of like templates in the digital marketplace. Has that been used in both in in your case maybe Anna and also in the case of our presenters, right?
And this question goes to Anna.
Okay. Yeah, I think I have more experience with that a little bit. So I think first of all, what I'm going to say is my personal opinion only, and in no way reflects my employer or the company that I'm associated with. I think Team Talk is really great when it comes to collaboration. I think there is a lot of things you can set up, and especially if you're a small business. I feel like TikTok is really one-stop solution if you want to just operate your business all together. Attendance sheet, shared documents, tasks, meetings, like it's really one-stop solution for everything. Um, for content, I don't really use TikTok for content translation per se. They do have some nice online documents that can be used as database. So maybe if your production is really, really super small and tiny, you can kind of use it for collaborative, editing and translation. But that's about it. Um, so yeah, that's my take. DinTalk is really collaboration tool for me mostly, but not so much a database or not so much the tool for content creation.
Got it. Thank you.